Greetings, final community, and a happy new year. All the best for 2022. So Rob Walker has initiated this vinyl tag 2022 with, since it's 2022, we've got 22 questions to answer. So I'll probably rattle through this a bit, but here we go. So the first question is favorite album purchased in 2021, and it's still in the shrink wrap, but has been opened and listened to. It's the wonderful Black Keys and Delta Cream. So yeah, Dan Orbach and Patrick Carney doing some great blues, sort of updated, revamped blues. I really like the covers that you get on the Black Keys albums. Then an album by the first artist or band you saw live. So we're going back to, I think, 1972, 73, round about there. And the Strawbs. I meant to take up the program for this particular concert, but it was my first concert at the Music Hall in Aberdeen. I think it was a few weeks before I saw Hawkwind at the same venue. But I think Part of the Union was one of my favorite singles at the time. And I think on a second listening, you can see that it's can be taken both ways. If you're a sort of working class union person, you can sing along saying, "You won't get me, you're part of the union, I'm part of the union." But you can also look at it from the capitalist side and the unions being a bit of a pest. So it's a bit ambiguous, but there's Flying and Storm Me Down on here, as well as, and Part of the Union is actually not a Dave Cousins composition, it's Hudson Ford, who had their own splinter group. So that's the Strawbs' first ever concert I saw, and was worried about, should I watch the encore or will I miss my bus home? So next up is album by a duo. Well, I really like this duo, but I'm not sure if you'll have seen this album before. Rare A-sides and rare B-sides. I think it's maybe a bit of a bootleg, but yeah, it's got Look Me Over Closely, which was their first 7-inch single, and only 500 were pressed. And we've also got, St. Ides of March. We've also got Let's Shake Hands, and Candy Cane Children, which was a 2002 Christmas single. Album in the shrink. The great David Bowie, and the third in the Berlin trilogy, and this is Lodger. So this is one of the gaps in my Bowie collection, so that's now fixed. Concept album, all right. I've got it in a cardboard sleeve to protect it a bit, or a cardboard backing. This is the circular cover of Ogden's Not Gone Flake, the fantastic album, very psych rock from the Small Faces. And maybe not the whole album is a concept, but the B-side with the great vocals or narration by Stanley Unwin is the concept of Happiness Stan looking up into the sky and only seeing a half moon and wondering where the other half of the moon has gone. So yeah, lots of typical Stanley Unwin gibberish, sort of made up vocabulary, etc. Really classic album, this. Then album not yet played is, again, well, this could be used for one with the price tag, but and it's still sealed. And it's Aretha Franklin's I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You. And this has got just this could be a first greatest hits actually, but we've got Respect, we've got I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, Dr. Feelgood, Do Right Woman, Do Right Man, and yeah, A Change Is Gonna Come, which is the great Sam Cooke number. Now, I think the next one was an artist you've discovered in 2021. Well, I was aware of this gentleman, but I maybe had just one or two tracks on compilations, and I really discovered what a great storyteller Tom Waits is, and the ambience, the feeling, the soul of this whole album is just great. You know, I love Shiver Me Timbers and Looking for the Heart, Looking for the Heart of Saturday Night. That's the title track. And yeah, there's some just great walking double bass on this, and yeah, Fumbling with the Blues, just fantastic album. So a discovery. And I think I'll be investing in more Tom Waits soon. Right. Next up, we have a live album. And I'm going for Supertramp's Paris, Gatefold. And yeah, a great lineup of songs on this. So we've got School, Logical Song, Breakfast in America, Dreamer, Take the Long Way Home, Crime of the Century. Just fabulous live album with Supertramp in Paris. Then I think the next category was an album from a different continent. So if you're in Europe, you could go with the North America. I'm going with a bit of both, North America and Africa, and Paul Simon's Graceland, because we have got the guys from Ladysmith Black Mombasa. And yeah, this is just a wonderful, fantastic even album. And we've got Under African Skies, Homeless, You Can Call Me Al, The Myth of Fingerprints, and The Boy in the Bubble, amongst others, and the fabulous Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes. So Ladysmith Black Mambazo and the Soweto Rhythm Section, and Youssou N'Dour from Senegal, as well as that fantastic songwriter Paul Simon from the US of A. Right. Album with a price sticker on the jacket. Well, I think maybe Rob was looking for something that said 10 and 6 or whatever, but I've got courtesy of HMV, 2 for 40, and this is purchased with a voucher for a Christmas present. So I did get 2 albums as well as that Aretha Franklin one, and it's Relics by Pink Floyd. So this is really a sort of best of the early Syd Barrett Pink Floyd. We've got Arnold Lane, which was produced by Joe Boyd. You should read Joe Boyd's White Bicycles book. It's highly recommended. We've got See Emily Play here, and Careful with That Axe Eugene, and Bike, amongst others. Punk or New Wave, we're going with the debut album from The Clash. So Janie Jones, Police and Thieves, White Riot, I'm So Bored with the USA, London's Burning. Just really great artwork as well. Simple, probably sort of photographic screen print type approach. By front covers Kate Simon, and the back cover with police and thieves or riots going on, and that's by Rocco Macaulay. Now, next question was to show a box set, and I was considering re-showing the phonotone with the CDs and the booklet and the bottle opener. Fantastic collection, that. But then I thought I showed that before, show one I haven't shown. This is probably one of the early box sets. I had to swap part of my Focus collection with my brother to redeem his half of the share of the concert for Bangladesh. So the George Harrison charity concert in New York. And there's a fabulous booklet. Not sure if that's the check. Nearly 243.4 thousand US dollars a check to the United Nations. And yeah, we've got Ringo, and we've got George Harrison, and we've got Ravi Shankar. Yeah, the side you don't listen to on the box set, and Eric Clapton, and three vinyl discs with Bob Dylan, of course, Leon Russell, and various others. Next, album with a sporting theme. I've showed this one before. This is a great punk new wave compilation, but it's the soundtrack from a film called That Summer. Was a young Ray Winston was a swimmer. So swimming is a sport. So this is great. It's got Watching the Detectives by Elvis Costello, New Life by The Zones, Another Girl, Another Planet, The Only Ones, things by Reckless Eric and Mink DeVille. Jazz album, Bashing, the Unpredictable Jimmy Smith. So swinging Hammond organ here. It says featuring the hit version of Walk on the Wild Side, but it's not the Lou Reed Walk on the Wild Side. I think it was, again, from a film, but it's a different Walk on the Wild Side. And it's got Old Man River, and in a mellow tone, as well as I'm an Old Cowhand from the Rio Grande. Next one was a best of album. So it doesn't actually say best of, but this is the best of Eddie Cochran. And there's a nice portrait of him here. And I think the liner notes are really excellent in here. I think it's given a high rating for the liner notes. But I don't know if you can read the track listing there, but we've got Skinny Jim, Something Else. We've got 3 Stars, Summertime Blues, My Way, Blue Suede Shoes, Come On Everybody, 20 Flight Will Rock, and Hallelujah, I Love Her So, the wonderful Ray Charles number, as well as Long Tall Sally, and Bo Weevil as well. Album with at least 8 people on the jacket cover. Well, what about this lot? This motley crew with Wings and Band on the Run. So you've got Denny Lane, Paul McCartney and Linda. You've got Clement Floyd, Michael Parkinson. Is that John Conte in there? And there's various other people whose names escape me at the moment. So this is also still in the shrink wrap, but great. The next one, I think, is a soundtrack album. I've often showed Stardust, which was the second film starring David Essex and the character Jim McLean. But the introduction to Jim McLean was on the film called That'll Be the Day, named after the Buddy Holly song, and featuring Ringo Starr in one of his post-Beatles acting roles. And really, it's a step back in time for Ringo, because when he was Richie Starkey, he was the drummer in, was it Rory Storm and the Hurricanes? And he had quite a few, or maybe two, stints as a resident band at Butlins, somewhere in Wales. And this film does feature holiday camp and some of the shenanigans that go on there. But yeah, this has got a great set of songs. We've got Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire, Running Bear by Johnny Preston, Runaway, Del Shannon, Boney Maroney, Larry Williams, Party Doll by Buddy Knox, often features on these rock and roll compilations. We've got Danny and the Juniors, At the Hop, and we've got Well All Right, and it says it's by Bobby V and the Crickets. That's interesting. And Billy Fury's on this, as well as we've got Rock On, one of David Essex's hit singles from the 70s. Great double album. And then Show Some VCLT. This is where I should start to cry, because I've never received any VCLT. However, I'm the very lucky winner of a contest run by Randy Nelson, and my prize was a voucher, and I managed to get 3 albums bought from a well-known online store named after a South American river, and one of them was the wonderful American Beauty by the Grateful Dead. And fantastic lineup of songs on here: Sugar Magnolia and Friend of the Devil, Candyman, Truckin', just wonderful. And yeah, so the VCLT really comes from Randy, but via winning one of his contests. Next was Album with No Writing on the Jacket. And I think this is not just the front and back cover, but I think there's no writing at all. And I've mentioned before that I saw this in the racks for about at least a year, if not 18 months, before realizing this was the coveted Led Zeppelin 4. I have a single, 7-inch single, and here we have Ride a White Swan on Fly Records. It's actually my wife's single, but the wonderful, wonderful Mark Bolan. I thought he was a bit teeny bopperish at the time. Now I've been educated. I'm now more cultured and realize what a great artist Mark Bolan and the band T-Rex were. So that's my 7-inch single. And then I think we're looking at colored vinyl. So this is, I showed this on Vinyl Tag last year, and I love the cover of this album. And inside, I think we've got 2 different colored pieces of vinyl. We've got green on one, and then yellow on disc 2. There's the sleeve with the price, and it's from a record shop in Aberdeen that also sells coffee and is a cafe. So it's Red Robin Records. Great. And we shall finish off with a classic album from 1982 the wonderful Alison Moyet and Vince Clarke, another great duo, but the classic album is upstairs at Eric's, and they sing about Goodbye 70s and Don't Go, and yeah, Only You as well. That's I think the big hits from this. But yeah, really nice album. Not sure if it was by Mute Records. Nice inner sleeve as well. So this was bought at the time. So Yazoo upstairs at Eric's on the Mute record label. So it's a original pressing and probably quite worn now. I love the synth rock and Alison Moyet's vocals. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I would encourage all you VC members out there to give this a go. There might be some alternative vinyl tags on the go, but this was in response to Rob Walker's, I think, New Year's Day, early on New Year's Day, he initiated this, this vinyl tag. So I'll be back before too long. I think I've still to show you my Q4 acquisitions for 2021. And yeah, we'll be back soon. Take care. Bye just now.